Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for this sixth day of this Bhagavata Sapthaha. So for the last 5 days, we had very nice and inspiring sessions in which we got so much of knowledge about Srimad Bhagavatam. Uh, Today also, can everybody on mute, please? Hearing some voices. So today also we have a wonderful session lined up. So we will start with the Kirtan and then we will start with our session for the fifth canto. So we'll do the Kirtan. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvadhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girvadhari Yashodhanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girvadhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girvadhari Yashodhanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Vrajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Gauranditya Jaya Gauranditya Gauranditya Jaya Gauranditya Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Shri Nam Sankirtan ki jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So for today, our speaker is His Grace SuvarnaGaurahari Das. SuvarnaGaurahari Prabhu, and he is director of Iskcon Youth Forum South Bangalore, and he is a spiritual mentor at Iskcon South Bangalore. So he has completed his education from RB College. Sorry, Sharan Basevar School and College. So he was ranked in KCET as rank 42 and medical rank was 84, and he completed B Electronics from RB College of Engineering, Bangalore. He worked with IBM for 4 years as a software engineer. Then he started his spiritual journey. So he was interested in reading and learning spiritual books from young age. Has studied Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, and Srimad Bhagavad Purana systematically. Living the life of a monk since the last 10 years at Iskcon Ashram, has given helpful seminar at various colleges like Jain University, RV Institution, NIT Trichy, NITK Surathkal, PICT Pune, BJ Medical Pune, etc. Also visited schools and colleges in Bangalore, Mysuru, Mangalore, Puttur, Kalburgi, etc. for doing value-based education program based on Bhagavad Gita. Conducted various seminars at corporate companies and like Tech Lever, SR Steel, etc. He also conducts self-help seminars for doctors and staff at Hillside Hospital and Uddhav Hospital. So we have a great fortune to hear from such a elevated personality. So we should take our advantage. So now I will just hand over to Puji. And you can wait.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uda Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamcha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratvase Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Kurti Vacharam Pangam Langayate Girim Yatrupat Maham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Hare Krishna. Welcome you all for this Bhagavata Sapthaha. Today we will be discussing from Canto 5 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So till now you must have heard from the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, the first session, the second session on Canto 1, then third session on Canto 2, then fourth session on Canto 3, Canto 4, and today's Canto 5. So in this Saptaha, we are going to discuss a brief overview of that particular canto and highlight on one particular pastime. So the first canto, the highlight is Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die in 7 days. So his birth, his activities, and his cursing and advent of Srimad Bhagavatam is described in Canto 1. In Canto 2, Shukadeva Maharaj starts speaking to Parikshit Maharaj and starts answering the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj had asked a question about how to think about the Supreme Lord. So then Shukadeva Goswami spoke about 3 ways of remembering the Lord. The first one is Virata Purusha, meditation on Virata Purusha. Second is meditation on the Paramatma in the heart. And third is meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And to answer further questions of Parikshit Maharaj on creation, he narrated the story of Brahma creating the universe and Narada Muni hearing from Brahmaji about the universe. And second canto also contains Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which is the teachings of Lord Vishnu to Brahmaji in 4 verses. Third canto starts the discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. The whole third canto and fourth canto is discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. Vidura came to Haridwar and asked several questions to Maitreya Rishi, and Maitreya Rishi elaborately answered all the questions of Vidura. So Maitreya Muni said that Brahmaji created Swayambhu Manu, and Swayambhu Manu had 5 children. So first, Maitreya Muni describes the story of Devahuti. Okay, so Devahuti, Akuti, Prasuti, then Uttanapada, Priyavrata. So these are the 5 children of Manu. So first he describes the girls' dynasty and then the men. So Devahuti got married to Kardama, and they had 9 daughters, and finally Lord Kapila appeared as son of Kardama Muni. So that is described in third canto. And the fourth canto, Prasuti and Akuti's marriage to Daksha and Ruchi is mentioned. And when it is mentioned about Daksha, so Daksha had many daughters, and one of them was Sati, and Sati burnt herself in fire. So to explain this story, the pastime of Daksha and Lord Shiva was mentioned in detail. And Akuti got married to Ruchi, and then they got also a Supreme Personality of Godhead as their son. And then Uttanapada's dynasty is being described in fourth canto. The entire fourth canto is about Uttanapada's dynasty. So in the dynasty of Uttanapada, Dhruva Maharaj comes, and Dhruva Maharaj's descendants, one of the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj is Prachini Barishat, and his story is described. And Prachini Barishat had 10 sons called Prachetas. So those Prachetas stories is also described at the end of the fourth canto. So Dhruva Maharaj, Daksha's story, Dhruva Maharaj's story, then Prachini Barishat, Puranjan's story, and then the story of Prachetas is described elaborately. Now, the 5th son of Manu Maharaj is Priyavrata. So, after the dynasty of Uttanapada came to an end, after the Prachetas, when it came to an end, there was nobody to rule the kingdom. So, at that time, Priyavrata Maharaj, he is called back. Although Priyavrata Maharaj is eldest among all the 5 children of Manu Maharaj, he had renounced and he had gone to the forest and accepted Narada Muni as his guru, and he was performing austerities, living as a sannyasi in the forest. So when there is nobody to rule this kingdom, Priyavrata Maharaj is called back. Manu Maharaj personally comes, and Brahmaji also personally comes to request Priyavrata to take this position. Although Priyavrata Maharaj is hesitant, he agrees to take that position. So that's how the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam begins. So in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, these are the important stories. The first one is the story of Priyavrata Maharaj becoming the king. Second one is Agnidhara, the son of Priyavrata Maharaj is Agnidhara. He gets married to Purvachitti, and then they get 9 children who become the kings of the 9 Varshas of Jambudvipa. And his son is Nabhi, and Nabhi gets a son called Rishabhadeva, and Rishabhadeva has got 100 sons, and eldest among them is Bharata Maharaj. So his story is also described in 5th canto. And Bharata Maharaj had 3 lives. First life as a king, second life as a deer, and third life as a Jada Bharata, again as a human, so he became Jada Bharata. So Jada Bharata story is described. Then the geography of the universe is described in detail in chapter 16, 17, 18 and 19. So the description of Jambudvipa planets is there in the 5th canto. So the 14 planets are also described in chapter number 20 to 25. And finally, the lowest planet is the hellish planets. So the description of hell also comes here. So these are the main contents of 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's start with Priyavrata Maharaj. So we'll not be able to cover all the pastimes in detail in the next 50 minutes. We'll focus mainly on Bharata Maharaj, his character. We'll focus on the prayers by the residents of Bharatavarsha, that we'll focus on, and then we'll focus on a little bit on the structure of the universe. Not much because it's a very vast topic, but we'll just touch upon it. So Priyavrata Maharaj, he is being requested by Manu. Swayambhu Manu has personally come and Brahmaji has come on the swan. Priyavrata Maharaj is hesitant, saying that I'm a renunciate, I like to do tapasya and read scriptures and preach, but you're telling me to get married and run this kingdom. I'll get into Maya. But Brahmaji gave assurance, no, you will not get into Maya, you will be protected with the Lord, because you are doing this based on the instruction of your authority. So when the authority gives some instruction, along with that comes the protection also. Okay, so we should be wholeheartedly following the instructions of our authority, because there is protection with that. As long as we are following the instruction, we are protected. If you deviate from the instruction, there is no protection. So Priyavrata became the king and he ruled the kingdom. And he was a Krishna conscious person. He was a great devotee of the Lord. Right? All the 5 children of Manu, Swayambhu Manu, were great devotees. Manu himself is a Mahajana. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kaumaro, Kapilo, Manu. Prahlado, Janako, Bhishmo, Balir, Vayasaki, Vayam. Swayambhu Manu is also a great Mahajana. So he made his children also great devotees. So Priyavrata Maharaj wanted to make the entire kingdom also into devotees. So there is a duty of a leader to ensure that all the people in the kingdom also become devotees. So he said that we should perform Krishna consciousness day and night, all the time. So Priyavrata Maharaj, he felt that 12 hours there is daylight and 12 hours there is night. So these 12 hours people are sleeping and wasting their time. So why should we waste our time in the night? So let's make 24 hours daylight. How to make it? Because there is only one sun. If you have 2 suns, then the 2 suns can rotate in opposite directions, then there can be 24 hours light. So Priyavrata Maharaj took his chariot and he went in the opposite direction of the sun, right, diametrically opposite. He was going round and round and round, and he, by his mystic power, appeared like another sun. So Priyavrata went round and round and appeared like another sun. So there was 24 hours daylight and everybody was doing Krishna conscious activities 24 hours non-stop. And this was Priyavrata Maharaj. So at the time there was only Krishna consciousness. And while he was going round and round, he made the 7 oceans. He made 7 ditches which later got filled with different kinds of liquids like salt water, and then there was sweet water, then sugarcane juice, and there was milk and yogurt and liquor. Like this, the different ditches got filled with different kinds of liquids. So that was the contribution of Priyavrata Maharaj. It is said about Priyavrata Maharaj, Naivam vidah purushakara urukramasya pumsam tadangri rajasa jitashadgunanam chitram vidura vigataha sakradadadita yannamadheya maduna sajahati bandham. It is described that it's not so wonderful. We may say he became the second son and going round and round. Bhagavatam says not so wonderful. It is so easy for the devotees of the Lord. Right? Because just by chanting the name of the Lord, a person can do incredible things. Like Hanumanji chanted the name of Lord Rama and jumped to Lanka. It was an impossible task, but by the blessings of Lord Ram, the power of the name of the Lord Ram, he could jump. Similarly, if the name of the Lord is so empowering, so if somebody is fully surrendered to the Lord, what to speak of him? Right? So, Priyavrat Maharaj did this wonderful task. Not Chitram, it's not so, it's so easy for the devotees, like they already said. Right? Enna madhe madana sajahati bandham. A devotee can transcend influence of the 6 material whips. Even untouchable is liberated by uttering the holy name of the Lord. So that is the power of the devotees. Urukrama. Krishna is called Urukrama. Uru means great. Krama means activities. So one who does Herculean activities is called Urukrama. So similarly, devotees of Urukrama also do great tasks very easily. Right? So then in the dynasty of Priyavrata comes Agnidhara, and he did tapasya to attain Pitraloka. And so for that, he prayed to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji, understanding the desire of Agnidhara, sent a beautiful apsara called Purvachitti. So Agnidhara got attracted to Purvachitti, they got married, then they had 9 children. And the 9 children of Agnidhara became the kings of the 9 Varshas of Jambudvipa. So in this photo you see Jambudvipa, which is made up of 9 sections. Bottommost is Bharata Varsha, then Kimpurusha Varsha, Hari Varsha, Ketumala Varsha, Ilavarta Varsha, Bhadrashva Varsha, Ramyaka, Hiranyamaya, and Uttarakuru Varsha. So they became the kings of this, this 9 Varshas of Jambudvipa. So the details are given in Srimad Bhagavatam, so you can read at your leisure. So one of the sons was Nabhi. Nabhi was a great king. He is a great devotee of the Lord, pure devotee. So he had no children. So in order to get children, he performed austerities. He performed a yajna to get a great son, a devotee son. So when he prayed to Lord Vishnu, he prayed that I want you as my son. So of course, there is nobody like the Lord. So Lord himself came as the son of Nabhi Maharaj. And the son's name is Rishabha Deva. So Rishabha Deva is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He became the king of Bharatavarsha. Lord Rishabha Deva became the king. So Rishabha Deva, he got 100 children. So these 100 children they were all great devotees. And Rishabha Deva, being a father, he instructed all his sons in spiritual life. So this is a section which we have to dwell more on and study deeply. So the chapter 5 up to chapter 13, I think they describe the character of Bharata Maharaj. Yeah. Yes, up to the chapter 14, describe the pastime of Rishabdev, Bharata Maharaj, and Jada Bharata. So, a very important section and one of the long sections in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, I request all of you to read through this book, right? So, for reading, you should have a copy. So, get a copy from our devotees on this wonderful occasion of Janmashtami, and Bhadra Purnima is soon coming. So, take a copy and read this section. And Srila Prabhupada gives wonderful purports for each of these verses in this section. So, Rishabdeva, he ruled the kingdom very expertly. And when the time came for his retirement, so at the time he called all his sons, as you see in this photograph. So Rishabdeva is sitting and and all his sons are sitting down and is instructing all of them. So one of the instructions given by Rishabdeva is like this: So Rishabh is sitting here, and you see the eldest among them, Bharata, is sitting in front. And he is addressing Bharata and all other 99 sons. He says, Nayam deho deha bhajam nuloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujam tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhed yasmad brahma saukyam tvanantam. So Rishabh is telling that human life is not meant for sense gratification. Sense gratification is easily available even to hawks and dogs. Right? Vidbhujam. Because even pigs are enjoying the gutter water, the stool. They are happy. They feel they are happy. And you might have heard the story once Indra committed an offense and he was cursed to become a pig. And he became a pig. And there was nobody in the post of Indra. So after some time, Brahmaji came and said, Indra, come, your post is empty. Right? You can become Indra and again enjoy the post. Please come back. Indra said, no. I'm so happy here. You see my wife, my children, I'm so happy. I want to be here. And Brahmaji got upset. You're eating the stool and you think you're happy? Right? This is not right. So you please come to me. Come back to Swarga and enjoy. But Indra was not ready. So even the pig also gets conditioned to eat stool. If you give halwa, it will not eat. So they are satisfied in their eating. So that satisfaction in material life is available even to hawks and dogs. That material happiness is available to hawks and dogs. If human being is also looking for happiness in eating, sleeping, mating, defending, he is also like an animal. So Rishabh is telling to his sons, don't become like animals. Human life is specifically meant for doing tapasya, tapa, tapo divyam. What kind of austerity? Divya austerity for advancing in spiritual life. If you don't do that, then human life is being wasted. So tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhyayed. Yena sattvam shuddhyayed. So what will happen? By doing divya tapasya, heart becomes purified from all the ugly, dirty things. So when the heart is purified, what happens? Shuddhyed, tapo divyam putrkayena sattvam shuddhyed yasmad brahma saukyam. He will get brahma saukyam, great happiness. What kind of happiness? Anantam, unlimited. So do divine austerities, your heart is purified, then you will become happy, then you will be unlimitedly happy. So that's why one should do austerities. So what is the austerity for people in Kali Yuga? We should chant Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So chant Hare Krishna. Read Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? People like to read. So do the austerity of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Initially it may appear like an austerity, but when you start getting the taste, you will be very, very happy. Okay? So when the taste develops, you become so ecstatic. You don't want to stop reading. You will be very happy. So in this way he instructed his sons, and after instructing, of course there are many instructions. We don't have time to discuss all of them. It's a beautiful section, right? Of course one more we can say, one more instruction. Mahat sevam dvaramahur vimukte tamodvaram yoshitam sangi sangam mahantaste samachitta prashantah vyamanyava suhrada sadhoye. It is said that one should serve the great souls. By serving the great souls, the doors to Vaikuntha open. And if you serve, if you take association of materialistic people, then door to hell opens. Tamudvaram yoshitam sangi sangam. If one is overly attached to women and men attached to women, then what happens? Yoshitam sangi sangam. Right? He will be degraded down to the lower species of life. Right? So there are 4 things one should avoid: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating and gambling. So people who are attached to these 4 things are they can distract us from our spiritual life. So one should keep healthy distance from such people. So Yoshitam Sangi Sangam Tamudvaram. So one can go to hell. Man Mahantaste Samachitta Prashanta. Who are the Mahatmas whose heart is completely pacified, peaceful? Samachittaha. They have acquired equanimity in their mind. Vimanyavaha, they don't become angry, material anger is not there in them. Suhradaha sadhavoye. But foolishly, people are absorbed in material sense gratification. Instead of serving the great souls and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, they are attached to worldly topics. Pumsam striyamitini bhavametam tayormito hridaya granti mahum. So man and woman come together with the desire to enjoy, and in that way, the knot in the heart becomes stronger and stronger. The bondage becomes stronger. Ata graha kshetra satapta vittaye janasya mohayam aham mameti. Then he starts getting attached to, once a person gets attached to a woman, then he starts acquiring home. He needs a home, then he needs sofa set, he needs a fridge, then he needs car, he needs so many facilities, right? Graha kshetra sudha apta vittaye, he needs money to maintain all that. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Then he starts thinking in illusion, this is me and this is my empire. In that way he becomes attached to this material world. So Rishabdev is telling that don't do this, right? Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yadindriya priyataya pranoti. So to satisfy their senses, indriyas, they do papa. Pramatta kurute vikarma. Vikarma means prohibited activities. They do prohibited activities. So Rishabdev is telling, don't involve in this kind of things. Sadhu manyeta atmanoyam asannapi kleshada asadeha. This body is only giving us misery. So let's not focus our attention on the body which gives misery, but let's focus on our attention on Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord. Right? So after giving such wonderful instructions, Rishabdeva departs. Right? He takes Avadhuta Vesha and he departs to the forest, and in the forest there is a forest fire, and through that forest fire he ascends back to his abode. It happened in Kudachadri, somewhere in Karnataka, and here, after the departure of Rishabdeva, so Bharat Maharaj rules the kingdom. Bharat Maharaj ruled the kingdom for several thousands of years. Of course, although he ruled for thousands of years, he was young, still young. So it was in Satyuga where life was long life. People used to live for 100,000 years. So Bharata, after when the time for retirement came, he entrusted his sons as the kings, and then he went to the forest. So this theme is there always in Srimad Bhagavatam, that a king rules for some time, entrusts his son, and then retires. Nobody in the past lived till the end as a king. Right? They used to depart at the right time and entrust, because they knew that kingdom can be taken care of by somebody else, but I have to take care of myself. Self-realization, Atma Sakshatkar. I have to walk on the path of self-realization. That I only have to do, nobody else can do that for me. So the kings were pious and religious. That's why they were called Raja Rishi. Rishi means a sage, Raja means king. So the kings who have saintly qualities, they are called as Raja Rishi. So Bharat Maharaj was a Raja Rishi. That's why our country is called as Bharat. India is a name given recently, maybe a century ago, but our country was known as Bharata. Bha means, because Sanskrit word you can spread it, Bharata. Bha means the light, right? The light of knowledge, spirituality. Ratha means one who is engaged. So those people who are engaged in the path of spirituality, Krishna consciousness, are called as Bharatiya. Just by being born in this land, one doesn't become a Bharatiya. Of course, one can, but real meaning is one should follow the principles given in Gita and Bhagavatam. Then he becomes a true Bharatiya, right? So the Bharata, the name comes from Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj went to the forest and he was doing austerities, chanting mantras, doing yajnas, pujas. But there was a distraction. Once he went to take bath in Gandaki river in Nepal. So there he saw that one deer, being afraid of a lion, it jumped across that river. It was a small river. So when it was jumping, it was carrying a baby, so the baby fell into the water and came floating. So Bharat Maharaj picked that baby, and mother died because of jumping. She got injured and died. And he got the baby to his ashram, started feeding some milk which he had, and some tender grass. In this way he nourished. And the baby deer started growing. But along with its growth, what happened was Bharat Maharaj started getting distracted. While doing puja, he used to see, where is the deer? Or while chanting mantras, he used to look and see, oh, are you okay? You want some food? In this way, while doing meditation, he was getting distracted. Similarly, in Kali Yuga, we have so many distractions, especially mobile phones, social media. Even when we are hearing katha, there is distraction. Some messages keep coming, some unnecessary calls may keep coming. So there's distraction. So in that age, there are different distractions, and this age also there is more distraction. This is the world of distractions. So a sadhaka should be careful not to get distracted. If we get distracted, then we cannot absorb our mind in Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So more we are attracted to Bhagavatam, less we will get attracted to other things. So to cultivate attraction to Bhagavatam, we should spend more time reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bharat Maharaj, one day, the deer was not visible in his ashram, so he went out searching, where is the deer? It became night, so he started looking here and there. He asked the trees, have you seen the deer? He asked the moon, have you seen my deer? Because on the moon there is a sign which looks like a deer. So while going in the darkness of the forest, he fell into a ditch. He got injured and is about to die. And while dying, he remembered the deer, my dear deer, my dear deer. And in this way, because he remembered the deer while dying, in the next life he became a deer. So he became a deer. And after he became a deer, he was very careful. He remembered his past life. Oh, I was a king, I went to the forest, I became a deer now, I should be very careful. So he left the association of his father, mother deer, of his brother, sister, and he went to the Pulaha ashram where sages were doing tapasya, chanting mantras. So there he stayed. He was eating only dry leaves, and he was hearing the mantras being chanted by the sages. And in this way he spent the whole life of a deer. And because of doing austerities, next life he was again born as a human, and now he was called as Jada Bharata. The word Jada is added here because he was callous in his life. He acted as a callous person. Jada means non-living, dull person. Jada means dull. So Jadabharata was acting like a dumb and deaf and blind person. So, and people were thinking that he is a fool, less intelligent. But actually he was acting like that because if he acted smart, then people will give him more material responsibilities. Then he has to go out, earn money, take care of family, get married. So many things he has to do. So to avoid all that, because he had already done it in the past. As a king, he had ruled the entire country. Kingdom of entire Varsha he had ruled. So he didn't want to do it again. He wanted to focus on self-realization. So he acted deaf and dumb, but inside his heart he was always remembering Krishna. So his father tried to take care of him very nicely, and father tried to teach him samskaras, but he was not interested in all that. And after father died, his brothers started exploiting him. So they were giving him dry food, they were giving burnt food, they were making him work in the fields. So once they put him as a scarecrow in the fields, so that the birds will not come, animals will not come. So when he was standing like that, at the time some dacoits were walking by that path and they were looking for a human being to give sacrifice, Narabali. They wanted to sacrifice a human being. So at that time, they found this person standing, Jadabharata. So they looked up and down, very healthy, very strong, perfect person, let's take him. So they tied him, hands and legs with ropes, they carried him to their puja mantapa. So they made him take bath, and then they put kumkum, fresh clothes, garland, and they were about to slaughter him in front of Kali. So you see in this photograph, Kali Devi has appeared. So Kali, in front of Kali, they were about to sacrifice. But when Kali Mata saw that these dacoits were sacrificing Bharata Maharaj, Bharata is a devotee of Lord Krishna. Kali is also a devotee of Lord Krishna. So she could not tolerate this. She broke open the deity and appeared, and then she took the same sword and cut off the head of the leader of the dacoits, and she started cutting off everybody's head, and her associates came and they started drinking blood of the dacoits. So in this way everybody was killed, and Jadabharata was simply sitting there. Mare Krishna rakhe Krishna mare ke. If Krishna wants to protect me, who can kill me? That assurance Jadabharata had. So he didn't retaliate, he didn't try to escape, he was just thinking of his Lord. And Kali Devi came and protected him. So it goes to show that if you worship Krishna, even Devatas are also very happy. Right? If you had been a Durga worshipper, Durga will be very happy if you read Bhagavatam and become Krishna devotee. If you are a Hanuman Bhakta, Hanuman will be jumping in ecstasy seeing that you have taken to worship of Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. Right? If you are a Shiva worshipper, Shiva will be very happy because Shiva himself chants Rama Rama Ram mantra. Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. So when you chant Hare Krishna, Lord Shiva will be very, very happy. So this pastime goes to show that Devatas also are happy when you become a devotee. So after he was released by Kali Devi, so he was walking, and then one king was passing. His name was Rahugana. So Raja Rahugana, he was very proud. He was pious but proud. So he was coming in a palanquin, and one of the palanquin bearers became sick. So they were waiting for a replacement. And when they saw Jadabharata, they said, "Hey, you're a very young fellow, strong, please come, lift the palanquin." So when he was carrying, he was walking, at that time he saw some ants on the road, so he stopped. So 3 people are walking and one person stops. It's not a right etiquette. So what happened? The palanquin was shook. When it shook, the king became angry. He looked out and said, "Don't you know how to walk? Are you blind? Maybe you are tired. You walk for a long distance." Like that he chastised Jadabharata. Jadabharata listened and continued walking. And again, second time it happened. And this time Rahugana became even more unhappy, and he said, "I will kill you, you fool. You are troubling me. I will kill you." So at that time Jadabharata opened his mouth for the first time. You don't see Jadabharata speaking much, but now he opens his mouth. He speaks such eloquent philosophy that Rahugana jumps from his palanquin and bows down to Jadabharata and says, "Hey, you are such a learned soul." Jadabharata had told that, "Oh king, whatever you say is true, because you say that my body is weak, you say that I walked for a long distance, but actually I walked for a short distance. My body is not weak, it's strong. And you say that I am carrying your palanquin, but actually I am not carrying your palanquin. This body is carrying your palanquin. And you think that I am walking to your destination? No, I am walking to my destination, which is Vaikuntha. This body is walking to your destination." Like this, he speaks such heavy philosophy to Rahugana. Rahugana jumps down and he says, "My God, you are speaking very learned words. I don't think you are a fool. You are a learned person. Are you Dattatreya? Are you great Kapila?" Like that he asks. And Rahugana says that, "Naham vishanke suraraja vajran natrakshashula nayamasya dandat nagnarka soma nilavitta pastra shankhe vrisham brahmakula." Rahugana says that I am not afraid of Indra's Vajra, I am not afraid of Agni's weapon, I am not afraid of Yamaraja's Yamadanda, not Varuna's Pasha, but I am afraid of only one thing, that is offense to Brahmanas, offense to the great souls, pure devotees of the Lord. I have committed offense to you, please forgive me." So that's where Rahugana, you will see, is lamenting and falling at the feet of Jadabharata. So Rahugana then asks some questions to Jadabharata. That is a very detailed discussion, we will not get into that. Jadabharata tells a story of forest of material enjoyment. He explains a riddle, allegorical story of the forest of material enjoyment, where he tells a story of a person who goes into the forest to get money, get some wealth like firewood and other things, and he narrates the experiences of this Vanik. Vanik means a businessman. What all he goes through, how he suffers, how he enjoys, how he is in illusion, then how he gets finally liberated from all sufferings. And Rahugana could not understand only. Then Rahugana requests, "Please explain it again." Then he explains it again. So when Jadabharata explained again, he understood. And Parikshit Maharaj tells to Sukadeva Maharaj, I didn't understand. Then Sukadeva Maharaj explains it to Parikshit Maharaj again. Right? Because story inside story, right? So Parikshit Maharaj understood. Then Prabhupada is writing purports to those explanations which we have to understand. Isn't it? So this is a very wonderful story. So thus Jadabharata, after instructing Rahugana, he became purified and Rahugana went to Kapilashrama to take association of Kapila Muni. So in this way, Priyavrata story is described. So Priyavrata married Bharishmati and got 10 sons, and one of them was Agnidhara, his son was Nabhi, Nabhi's son Rishabdeva. Rishabdeva's 100 sons, one was Bharata, and 9 other sons became Kshatriyas, and 9 became Sannyasis called Navayogendras, and 81 became Brahmanas. So 10 Kshatriyas, 9 Sannyasis, and 81 Brahmanas. Although Rishabdeva was a Kshatriya, his sons were not all Kshatriyas. This goes to show that just like judge's son doesn't become a judge, he has to qualify himself to be a judge. Similarly, a Brahmana's son should qualify himself to be a Brahmana. A Kshatriya's son should qualify himself to be a Kshatriya. But if he is exhibiting the qualities of any other Varna, then he is to be considered to be belonging to that Varna. So this is one of the evidence for that. So after describing the dynasty of Priyavrata up to Bharata Maharaj and Jadabharata, and Parikshit Maharaj asked questions about the structure of the universe. Sthanam. The main topic of 5th canto is Sthanam, the position of the planets. Srimad Bhagavatam describes 10 topics. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utayah manvantara ishanukatha nirodha muktirashrayah. These are the 10 topics. First canto talks about sarga. Second canto talks about visarga. Actually, second, third cantos and up to 4th canto talk about visarga. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam. 5th canto talks about sthanam. Position of the living entities. What are the places where the living entities stay? Sthanam. Poshanam. How Krishna protects his devotees. That's told in 6th canto. 7th canto talks about Uti. Uti means the inclinations, favorable inclinations and unfavorable inclinations. Favorable inclination is Prahlad Maharaj. Unfavorable inclination is Hiranyakashipu. So that contrast is shown in 7th canto, which we will discuss tomorrow. Then Manvantara. 8th canto talks about Manus, the 14 Manus which come in one day of Brahma, starting from Swayambhu Manu. Then Ishanukata, the stories of many avatars of the Lord, comes in 9th canto, like Purusharama, then Ramachandra, Krishna, Vamana, like Matsyavatara, they all come in 9th canto. Then 10th canto describes Ashraya, which is the 10th topic, the shelter, ultimate shelter of all, which is Krishna. So Manvantara Ishanukata Nirodha Muktir Ashraya. Nirodha is withdrawal of cosmic dynasties, with withdrawal of the planets. That is 12th canto. Mukti is 11th canto, and 10th canto is Ashraya. In this way, 10 topics of Bhagavatam are distributed in the 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the 5th canto talks mainly about Sthanam, the position of living entities. So to explain the position of the living entities, Shukadeva Maharaj starts describing the structure of the universe. Of course, this is from the vision of the Devatas. How Shukadeva Maharaj saw it, like that he is describing. Now, when we try to see with our naked eyes, we may not be able to understand or correlate what is spoken in Bhagavatam and the modern science. But there is wonderful research done in this. Like there is a book called Vedic Cosmology. That books correlate how the Vedic model and the modern model also can be correlated and can be accepted. So, according to this, the whole universe is it looks like a lotus, and in between there is Jambudvipa, and all the other planets are like the lotus petals. Okay, so this is how it looks like, but not exactly like this. So if you study the structure, it is very complex. So there is a saltwater ocean, and then there is Jambudvipa, in the between there is Ilavrata Varsha, and in between there is Mount Sumeru. And Mount Sumeru is about very tall, 100,000 yojanas. 1 yojana is 8 miles. So out of this 100,000 yojanas, 16,000 yojanas is below and 84,000 yojanas is above the earth. So this disk which you see, earth, we can say Bhumandala, not the planet earth, but Bhumandala is like a disk. And on this disk there are many planets. So in the Jambudvipa there are many Varshas which are called as Bharat Varsha, Kim Purusha Varsha, Hari Varsha, which is the southern part. Northern part there is Ramyaka, Hiranmaya and Kuru Varsha. So these names are the sons of Agnidra. Okay. Then there is Ketumala, Ilavrata and Bhadrashva Varsha. And the measurements, the width and the length of these Varshas are also given. And what the speciality of the Varshas is also given. So this is visible to people who are on the heavenly planets. They can see this. But we don't have the karmic qualification to see. So these things are hidden. For example, the moon is considered to be a heavenly planet. But when a rocket goes there, we see only rocks and sand. Because when you see from a material point of view, from an earthly point of view, we can see only rock and sand. But those who have the karmic qualification, they can see the divine beings there. Because moon is the source of all taste. Somo bhutvarasatmakaha, Srimad Bhagavatam says that. So the moon gives taste to all the living entities, all the vegetables on earth. So moon should have taste. Of course, moon is also said to be a watery planet because it has got taste. So that taste from the moon is absorbed in the vegetables. So there is divine life even on other planets, but we will not be able to access them. Like we cannot see amoeba through naked eyes, we cannot see bacteria through naked eyes. Similarly, we cannot see devatas with our naked eyes. We have to have karmic qualification. Then only we can have access to those things. So Srila Prabhupada says that just hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, don't make our scientific experiments can neither prove it nor disprove it. Srila Prabhupada says that, right? So the mountains on earth versus the universe structure and the universal structure, right? It is very unverifiable through our scientific experiments. So Prabhupada says that be satisfied with statements of authorities and appreciate how Lord's external energy manifests in the cosmos. Let's try to appreciate the energy of the Lord. How wonderful is this creation, right? So our experimental knowledge can neither verify nor disprove the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so it's better we accept it, what is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, and then try to do sadhana to able to realize it. Right? Because with our pratyaksha pramana we will not be able to understand. But with Shabda pramana we will be able to understand and put faith in these things. Okay, and when we achieve the required qualification, then we may be able to see all these Varshas. Okay, so I will not get into details of this. This will be a 1 week seminar in itself if we get into the details of the structure of the Vedic universe. So there are devotees like Praneshwar who have written a book called Vedic Cosmology based on these sections of Bhagavatam with reference from other books like Surya Siddhanta. And recently our ISRO chairman, he was mentioning the book Surya Siddhanta. He said that he read this book and it was very interesting and he liked it. And they're trying to incorporate the teachings given in Surya Siddhanta and Aryabhata's books in the space science so that they can, their research can be more Vedic, right? So, of course, the Western scientists were mostly non-believers, but the Indian scientists who launched this ISRO satellite, they were all God-believing personalities, right? Faithful people. So on the top of Meru Parvata, there are the Lokapalakas who are sitting. And those who know a little bit about Vastu, you will know that, okay, this direction is east and here stays Indra. This direction is north, this is Kuvera. South is Yama. Then west is Varuna, right? And then there is Shiva, Agni, Nirrati and Vayu at different directions, right? So Agni Mule is where kitchen should be there, right? And the east is best to have this entrance, right? So in this portion should be wealth and living rooms like that. So in this way, these devatas are sitting in particular corners of the universe. So that's why a particular vastu also becomes important. So when you see the universe from the top, this is how it looks. When you look at the universe from the side, this is how it looks. There are 14 planetary systems, 7 below and 7 above. Okay. So below the universe, half of the universe is filled with water. That's why there is the depiction of water here. Imagine the universe to be a football filled with water, and then there is a disc above this water, not touching the water but above the water, which is supported by Ananta Shesha from below. On the hoods of Ananta Shesha, this disc is resting, and above the disc there are in the disc there are 7 planetary systems, and above the disc there are 7 more. Bhuvaha Swaha Mahar Jana Tapa Satya. These are the planetary systems above. Okay, and below also there are 7. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Patala. So like this 7 below. And below Patala there is hellish planets. So that is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Ganga also flows from the top. From the outside the universe there is Viraja river. When Lord Vamana pressed his toe to the covering of the universe, so the water of Viraja came down and came from the higher planets, Satyaloka, down. It came to Dhruvaloka, it came to Saptarshi Mandala, it came to then Moon Loka, Swargaloka, came on top of Meru Parvata, then to lower planets, then to the peak of Himalayas, then to Haridwar in India, then to the plains of India, and through Ganga Sagar she goes down to Patala Lokas to purify Patala. It's called Patala Ganga. So the flow of one chapter is dedicated to Ganga Devi's descent. Okay. So Ganga Devi flows down like this from top of the Meru mountain and goes down. Okay, so Ganga is one of the most important rivers. So each Varsha of Jambudvipa also has got a predominant deity. Like a Bharata Varsha, the predominant deity is Naranarayana. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudirayet. Vyasadeva, before writing Srimad Bhagavatam, he prays to Naranarayana, because Naranarayana Rishi stays in Badrikashrama in the higher Badri, higher Himalayas, and Vyasadeva is staying with Naranarayana, so he takes blessings of Naranarayana to start writing anything. And Kim Purusha Varsha, Lord Ramachandra stays, and Hanuman and Sugriva, they pray. Hari Varsha is presided by Lord Narsingadeva, and Prahlad Maharaj and other associates offer prayers. Okay, Ketumala Varsha is Cupid, Kamadeva, Pradyumna, with Rishikesha along with Lakshmi. Lakshmi and Devatas offer prayers. Then Hayashirsha, Hayagriva is there in Bhadrashva Varsha, where Dharmaraja offers prayers. Ramyaka Varsha is inhabited by Matsya, and Manu Maharaj is offering prayers. Hiranyamaya Varsha is predominantly by Kurmadeva, and Aryama is offering prayers. Uttar Kuru Varsha, there is Varahadeva offered prayers by inhabitants. In between there is Lord Sankarshana, and Lord Shiva is offering prayers to Lord Sankarshana. In this way, these are the 9 Varshas of Jambudvipa. Okay. So a good amount of section is dedicated to the prayers. You see 17, 18 and 19, 3 chapters are dedicated to the prayers offered by Jambudvipa. I will just take 2 prayers from Naranarayana Rishi from Narada Muni and the residents of Bharata Varsha, because that's where we are staying. Jambudvipe, Bharata Varshe, Bharatakande, Meroh, Dakshina Parshave, right? So that's how people take Sankalpa. The south of Meru, there is Bharata Varsha, there is Bharatakhanda. Bharatakhanda is actually earth, the round earth, where we are staying. So the residents of this earth, they offer praise to Naranarayana, right? Of course, I will take this. Om Namo Bhagavate Upashama Shilayoparata Anatmyaya Namo Kinjana Vittaya Rishi Rishabhaya Naranarayanaaya Paramahamsaya Paramagurave Atma Ramadipate Namo Nama Iti. So like this they are offering prayers to Naranarayana. And they are telling, Kim dushkarairna kratuvittapovrate danadivirva dvijanena falguna na yatra narayana pada pankaja smriti pramushthati shaindrotsavaha. So Devata, the residents of Jambudvipa, they are praying that we performed so many austerities to go to heaven. Right? We performed kratu. Kratu means yajnas, tapa, dana. Right? We did so much to attain the heavenly abodes, and we are enjoying the heavenly abodes. But here there is no devotee. There are no devotees. Nayatra Narayana Pada Pankaja. Because there are no devotees here, and there is a lot of sense gratification. Smriti Pramushta Atishayendra Utsavaha. And our remembrance of Krishna is disturbed because of too much of sense gratification. Because there is so much sense gratification, we are not able to focus on Krishna. So they are telling that better to take birth on earth. Kalpayusham sthana jayat punarbhavat kshanayusham bharata bhuja yovaram kshanena martyena kritam manasvinaha sanyasya samyanti abhayam padam harer. Right? So if you stay for long life in heaven, that's not so good. But kshanayusham bharata bhuja yovaram, a fraction of moment on Bharatavarsha, because Bharatavarsha is very favorable for practicing spiritual life. All of us are very fortunate. We are born in India, Bharata. Even Devatas are hankering to take birth here for a short time. Our life is anyway short, 50, 60, 70 maximum. So in that short life, if we can perfect our life, that's very good. But in heaven, although lifespan is very long, there is no Krishna consciousness. There are a lot of sense gratification. There are apsaras, there are many intoxicants, beverages. So one is busy in those things. So that's why they are praying, better to be born in Bharata. Kshanena martyena kritam manasvina sanyasa samyati abhayam padam hare. Little bit of bhakti you do on earth, you will get abhayatva and the lotus feet of Lord Hari. Na yatra narayana, na yatra vaikunta kata sudhapaga, na sadhavo bhagavatas tadashraya, na yatra yagnesha makha mahotsava, suresha lokopi navai sasevyatam. This is, right, wherever there is no Vaikunta Katha, where there is no Bhagavad Katha happening, I will not stay there. Na sadhavo bhagavatas tadashraya, wherever there are no devotees, I will never stay there. Na yatra yagnesha makha mahotsava, wherever there are no festivals for Lord Krishna being celebrated, I will not stay there. Suresha lokopi, even if you give me the Indra Loka, navaisa sevyatam, I will not go there. So that is the hankering of the Jambur Deepa residents. They are praying that we want to be born in Bharatavarsha, because here there are festivals of Lord Krishna being celebrated, there are so many temples of Lord Krishna, there are so many Krishna Kathas happening. Only we have to search for where it is happening. Like all of you have come for this Bhagavad Katha. So wonderful. You are able to chant and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So wherever Katha is happening, wherever devotees are present, wherever festivals like Janmashtami is coming now, all of you can come and participate in Janmashtami. So such place a devotee would like to stay. So like this Jambudipa residents offered prayers. Then the more detailed structure of Jambudipa is being mentioned. Like there is Jambudipa below, here in the center, and surrounded by Plakshadvipa. Then there is, of course, font is very small, Shalmali Dvipa, Kushadvipa, Kronchadvipa, Shakadvipa. Then there is Pushkara Dvipa, where Manasutra mountain is there, where the sun goes round and round on this Manasutra mountain. Then there is Loka mountains. Beyond that there is no life. There is a top view of the universe. In between there are oceans, like saltwater ocean, the sugarcane ocean, liquor ocean, clarified butter, milk, emulsifier, yogurt and sweet drinking water. So in this way, the top view of the universe is described, and then the vertical view of the universe is described. So you will see that this is Bhumandala. Below that there are 7 planetary systems, and above that there is Bhuloka, Bhurloka. Bhurloka is the section where the sun goes round. Then there is Svargaloka, starts from moon up to Saturn, up to Saptarshi Mandala. So that is Svargaloka. Bhu, Bhuvaha, Swaha. Okay, in Gayatri Mantra one chants, Bhu means Bhumandala, Bhuvar means sun, the region of the sun. Then there is Svargaloka. So, and above that there is Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. Just above Saptarshi Mandala there is Dhruvaloka. And above Satyaloka is nothing. And there are coverings of the universe: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, ego, and then Mahatattva. In this way, the universe is thickly covered. Nobody can escape this universe. Some people ask the question, are there multiple galaxies? Are galaxies different universes? Vedas say no. All universes are in this one universe. All the galaxies are there in this one universe only, because we don't have access to other Brahmanda. So universe is called Brahmanda because Brahmanda is covered with such thick layer of protection that nobody can escape. Only when Krishna, we surrender to Krishna, then Krishna can take us out by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. We can go out of this universe to Vaikuntha Loka. Otherwise, ordinarily it is not possible to cross this one Brahmanda. So yogis remember or meditate on this Tara Mandala as a dolphin, Shishumara. So the yogis meditate like this. The whole Tara Mandala looks like a dolphin with stars at different parts of the dolphin, that is Shishumara. So the lower planets are Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala and Patala. So these are lower planetary systems. Higher planetary systems I already mentioned. And below this lower planetary system, below Patala, there is Naraka. Okay, the description of hell comes in the last chapter of 5th canto, 26th chapter, the last chapter. After this is one more chapter. The glorification of Ananta Shesha is there, which is the 27th chapter. So in the 26th chapter, the description of hell is given. Okay, why hell? Because hell is described to tell that if somebody is very sinful, then he is taken to hell and is given special treatment there. Just like in our country we have jail. Those who are criminals, they are put in jail. And in the jail also there is A class jail, B class jail, C class jail. A class jail is for maybe like some very VIP goes into the jail, he is put in A class jail. He is given his private room, attached toilet bathroom, he is given food at his room, and he is given some medicine and TV to watch also. It's A class. B class jail means maybe dormitory, and then toilet bathrooms, common toilet bathrooms. And C class jail means worst of dormitory, no cleanliness, no hygiene, stinking, right? So that is C class jail. So A class jail is Swarga, B class jail is earth, C class jail is Naraka. Okay. So everything is jail only. Swarga is jail hai. This Swarga is also jail only. So but it is A class. Because there also, although there is good enjoyment, there is suffering there. There is death also there. Death is there. Death is everywhere. Sufferings may be less in Swarga. In earth it may be little more. In Naraka it is too much. Like you see in this photograph, so much suffering this fellow is undergoing. His stomach is torn and he is being eaten alive. So that is Naraka. So there are 28 hellish planets. Okay. So the names of the 28 hellish planets are given and the description is also given. I don't think we have time to discuss all these 28. I'll just mention the names. Maybe you can go and read Srimad Bhagavatam. Once one person read, one person was coming to Gita classes and he stopped in between. And later on, one devotee went for book distribution and he was distributing 5th canto Bhagavatam because it was just printed. So he gave that 5th canto Bhagavatam to that person and he read the last chapter. He was very curious. He read this 28 hellish planets and he said, "Hurry, I am drinking, I am smoking, I am eating meat and I am doing all these things. This is the punishment I am going to get." He immediately came back to temple and started chanting and participating in temple activities because this is a solution. Anybody who chants holy name, hears Bhagavatam will never see Yamudutas. So the names of the hellish planets are given here: Tamishra, Andatamishra, Raurava, Maharaurava, Kumbhi, Baka, Kala Sutra, Asi Patravana, Sukar Mukha, Andhakupa, Krimi Bhojana, Sandamsha, Tapta Surmi, Vajra Kantaka Shalmali, Vaitarani, Puyoda, Pranarodha, Vishasana, Lala Bhaksha, Sarameyadana, Aviti, Ayapana, Sharakardama, Rakshogana Bhojana, Shulaprota, Dandasuka, Avata Nirodhana, Paryavartana, Shuchi Mukha. These are the 28 planets. My God, names itself are so horrible, and the punishment there is also very horrible. So if you want more details, please read this section. If you are afraid, don't read alone. Read with some partner so that you don't get afraid in bad dreams. So in this way, so the 28 hellish planets are described, and yes. So after describing the 25th chapter is glories of Anantadev, who is holding the planet. So 25th chapter is glories of Ananta, and then 28th chapter is 26th chapter is 28 hellish planets. In this way, he described the 28 hellish planets, and after that, what happened is Parishit Maharaj felt very compassionate, and then he asked Shukadeva Maharaj, what is the solution for the sufferings of these living entities? So then Shukadeva Maharaj says, chanting of the holy names. That we'll discuss in tomorrow's section. So please come tomorrow to hear about the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which glorifies the holy names. Okay? So thank you very much for your enthusiastic participation in the Srimad Bhagavatam classes, Bhagavata Sapthaha. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak on the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So very grateful to all of you. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful session and a lot of insights which we got today about the 5th canto. So now we'll open up for the Q&A session. So anybody has any question, they can ask the questions. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna SuvarnaGaurahari Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Prabhu is traveling, but still he said, he will take a question answer. So feel free to ask questions if you have anything.
I'm here. I may not be able to switch on my video because I'm traveling.
That's fine. That's fine,
Oh,
Prabhu. Absolutely
yes.
fine.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Anyone has any questions? So everybody is clear. Prabhu, looks like everybody has seen the PPTs there, or they are wonderstruck with the presentation. I don't know.
It is said that 5th canto is like a test, entrance test. So then
Okay.
when we
Hare
have
Krishna Prabhu, you are 100% right, Prabhu. Everyone is wonderstruck. Yet to take this.
See, this is a Bhagavatam.
Particularly hills, 28 hills. So first,
Okay.
we have to go through once about that explanation, Prabhu.
Oh, yes.
I was telling entrance test because generally when a person does primary studies and high school, then after they get into college, then there is CET test. Very difficult, common entrance test. So 5th canto requires a lot of faith to cross over. So, and one who crosses the 5th canto will get the taste of the holy name, which is 6th canto, where the glories of the holy name was mentioned. When you put faith in Shastra, then you go ahead reading the Shastras, then you get more and more revelations, glories of the holy name, glories of Lord's avatars, and ultimately Krishna Lila comes. So those who can go ahead, then you get Krishna. So please continue ahead. Although some sections of 5th canto may be difficult for our mind to comprehend, but just have faith, read again and again, go ahead, and Krishna will reveal everything.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Thanks.
If there is no further question, probably we can end the session.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, humble request to all of you. You can use this another 10 minutes is there, Prabhu. Another 8 minutes is there. We can, anybody wants to feedback about the session or feature what you would like to expect us to do, please let us know. We will be happy to plan because we haven't planned the further sessions. Unless you feedback, how many of you interested to join, we can do that. For example, cosmology. I can request Prabhu or someone else exclusively to dwell into the cosmology if somebody won't like to understand the complete. Prabhu, can you make me a co-host, please, Prabhu? That we can discuss, or anything else you are expecting us to do, we are at your service. So unless you feedback, it is difficult for us to plan ahead. So do please feedback about this program. Any areas of improvement, you are most welcome. So we will close by 9:30. We have still 7 minutes more. So I request you to please open up and share your feedback. Anyone else?
Today's session was wonderfully told by Prabhu. Everything was covered, even though, because of time constraint, it did not go into depth, but overall view was wonderfully explained. Thanks for that.
Thank you so much. So what is that you would like to do further after tomorrow? We all disperse, or you would like to continue if there are any sessions conducted? So I would like to know so that I can plan for the continuity. Sorry, Mataji, somebody is speaking. See, this Bhagavatam also further you can refer in Brahma Samhita as well. This wonderfully explained how originally the Goloka Vrindavan is there. Krishna, Radha Krishna in the center. There are 4, there are various parts: Mathura, Vrindavan, Dwaraka, Puridam. So this Goloka Vrindavan is where we were originally there. And you can see these 4 expansions: Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, Aniruddha. From there, then there is a Vaikuntha Loka. Below you come, there is a Rama's Ayodhya planet, where Ayodhya Lord Ramachandra is there. Then you come into the Vaikuntha. There are various layers, Vishnus, Dwarakapalakas, Jai, Vijay. There are so many people are there. Then you still further come. This is Aridama. This is Vaikuntha. Then there is a Golokadama. Sorry. Just give me a second. Sorry. Oh. Okay. Then Prabhu today explained how Mahavishnu, taking help of Sambhu, he creates this from Pradhana to Mahatattva. Then Prabhu dwell into one portion of the universe. There are so many universes floating. Then one portion of it, how Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu comes and there are various planetary systems. Then he went to Bharatavasha, Bharatakanda. Then there are islands, Jambudipe. Then he went inside how these various planetary systems are working out. So this is a wonderful literature of Bhagavatam. Everyone in this call should have at their house Bhagavatam. Otherwise, hearing this one thing, it's nice. Bhagavata Sapthaha, I came and I learned something. But there needs to be some transformation or some changes in our life. We should take one step towards something in the 6 days, 7 days, I have learned something I want to implement, something I want to read, something I want to change in my life. Then it makes worth. Even one person takes up very seriously this process of Krishna conscious reading Bhagavatam, chanting, then that is our success. So if you are inspired, please do take this Srimad Bhagavatam and please distribute to others so that the people aware of this holy scripture and everybody can get benefit. If you are already have, that's fine. You can give it to somebody else as a gift. And this is a wonderful service. Anyone can give it to Srila Prabhupada because he has done so much. Every night he used to write 1 or 2 hours only sleep. But he was thinking, what will happen to these people? Who will explain this knowledge? So we can speak for 1.5 hours, but we can not even touch the surface of Srimad Bhagavatam. We can 7 hours, almost we are doing 7 hours, right? This Bhagavata Sapthaha, 7 days, 1 hour, 1 hour if you take. That's not sufficient. Prabhu, what about 70 hours? That's not even sufficient. 700 hours, you can't even hear Srimad Bhagavatam. 7,000 hours, maybe you would have understood the title. 7 crores hours, it's required so much time. You can't keep reading this Srimad Bhagavatam. Such a wonderful literation, and life after life, your sons, grandsons, everybody can read this. Such a wonderful Bhagavatam. We should take it to everyone. Har Ghar Bhagavatam. Every house should have this Bhagavatam as a wonderful thing. So we are also planning. I was thinking when I was hearing Prabhu's lecture, I was inspired to see we want to dedicate one session to cosmology. There could be various other sessions. That's what I was asking. What is your view on going forward? What sessions you would like to attend? What are the topics, theme-based topics, what I was thinking to present it, if you're all interested. So do let me know, Prabhu, if that helps. We want some particular topic or some suggestion. You need to tell me. Based on your requirement, I'll do it. So I would stop here for any reflection. Any reflection? Hare Krishna. Otherwise, we have 1 minute. We can wind up. Theme-based topics. Yes, Prabhu. Ashwini, thank you so much. We will do that. Anybody else for this theme-based topics? Okay. I think everybody is still thinking about the cosmology. We will stop here. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is the last day. Please don't miss. We're going to the sixth canto. Thank you for your support. We will be here for a minute and we will close the Zoom. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, we can end the session.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah.